Hello, this is AnlineOffline. Welcome back to another casual's quick guide to Call of Duty Mobile. For today's video, we'll be covering the PKM. Introduced in Season 11 of 2021, the PKM is a belt-fed machine gun from Modern Warfare 2019, and because it's chambered in a full-powered cartridge instead of an intermediate one, it's more of a medium machine gun. The PKM first appeared as a supply drop weapon in Modern Warfare Remastered, and Black Ops 4 would scale it up to 50 caliber with the VKM 750. But the first PK variant to appear in the COD franchise would be the Pecheneg in Modern Warfare 3, reappearing in COD Online, and Black Ops 3 had its own futuristic intermediate bullpup in the form of the Dingo. After World War II, the Soviet Union witnessed firsthand the effectiveness of a universal or general-purpose machine gun by the German MG42, and wanted one of their own. Defeating Nikitin Sokolov as a late contender, the Pulemyot Kalashnikova would replace the DP-27 and mounted Goryanov, much like how Kalashnikov's RPK would also replace Dektorov's RPD. In essence, the PK is an upside-down AK, but as an open-bolt machine gun with a quick-changed barrel chambered for the never-retiring 7.62x54 rimmed. One potential flaw is that it violently ejects to the left, and hot casings might cut your gripping arm if flared. Other than that, you should be fine if you're left-handed, wear thick sleeves, or mount it. Speaking of mounting, there are a number of alphabetical designations. S for tripod, T for tank, B for armored vehicle, N for night vision, and most popular, the PKM is a modernized, simplified variant with a lighter, unfluted barrel. Reliable like an AK, but also relatively more lightweight and maneuverable than its NATO rivals. It's widely regarded as the best designed GPMG. In fact, former Warsaw Pact members that are now in NATO continue to use their own PKMs. Both Poland and Bulgaria have modified theirs for 7.62x51 NATO. And there are newer Russian variants. The AEK-999 Barsuk uses the same steel from aircraft machine guns for its barrels for more sustained fire, but it lost in a competition to the PKP Pecheneg, which did away with its quick-change barrel for one that's heavier, non-detachable, and forced air-cooled. As for COD Mobile's PKM, base damage per shot is moderately high, killing in 4 shots and then only dropping to 5 at long range. The fire rate is slow at 632 rounds per minute, much slower than its 2019 counterpart, but surprisingly equal to that of COD 4 Remastered. The base time to kill is slow up close, but it does have infinite effective range. Luckily, it does have helpful body multipliers. Headshots are 20% extra, the chest and biceps are 7% extra. With these, you can achieve a 3-shot kill somewhat consistently in its first range. Thus, the PKM has the 3rd fastest 3-shot kill among LMGs, only behind the rapid-fire Hades and RPD. In terms of mobility, the PKM is the slowest of all machine guns, and with a recent buff to the HDR, PKM once again has the longest base ADS time. Proportionally, its no-stock and short barrel are less effective compared to its fellow LMGs. The base mag size is large at 100 and can be extended to 150 and 200. Be warned, the PKM has the slowest reload in the game, at over 5 seconds to successfully reload cancel an empty mag. As for bloom, the PKM is tied with the Dingo for the best in its class, but when compared to assault rifles, it's average. Like its fellow LMGs, its hipfire is not to be trusted. The iron sights are flat and fine. The initial kick is something to brace for, but after that it's relatively light, but some people might not enjoy the visual shake. When the PKM was released towards the end of 2021, it was the best LMG for camping. It was essentially superior to the RPD in most aspects, and this was after the Polgar was nerfed. So, what happened? Well, the other LMGs improved. The RPD got a buff to its headshot multiplier and gained access to infinite ammo. The Holger was restored. The Chopper, Hades, and S-36 gained infinite effective range. The UL got reduced recoil and a 3-shot potential. It's not to say that the PKM didn't get any buffs, but it pales in comparison to how much the others have improved. An ADS speed buff along with the others, but its bloom was untouched. A slight optimization later that year, At the start of 2023, it received another buff to its ADS time and strafing speed, and most recently its recoil was reduced, and a new initial damage value that makes 3-shotting more likely. So how does it compare to its fellow machine guns now? The most obvious comparison would be its fellow countryman, the RPD. The PKM has better multipliers for 3-shotting and an infinite effective range. The RPD is a more mobile weapon and has a barrel for infinite ammo for more gunfights. The UL-736 is a fellow 3-shot LMG. The difference is that the PK lacks the forearm damage, but demands only 1 or 2 shots to the biceps or chest for a 3-shot kill, whereas the UL can target the forearms in the head-to-head fight, but demands all 3. Other than that, the UL has the mobility to be used like an AR. The base Hades is a fellow LMG with infinite effective range. It doesn't have the 3-shot potential without rapid fire, but it did receive a recent mobility buff to match that of the UL. But the PK has more ammo, more range, is more accurate, has less recoil, and a less punishing gunsmith. And lastly, the M4 LMG also received a buff this season. It already had the same fire rate, but now has similar bloom and a 3-shot potential, albeit not as consistent. So, does it need any changes? For its role as a purely passive LMG, not much. Its ADS bloom is no longer special compared to current ARs and LMGs. I know the 2019 fans do get annoyed when their guns aren't faithfully recreated, but you really can't touch its damage and fire rate. The slow reload makes sense for 2019 because it's generally a slower paced experience, but for mobile it's very slow, even if they got the cancel animation down. Speeding up this part would save some time. But what about switching to your secondary? I don't have all the values for swap times, but I can safely assume that the PKM has one of the slowest, if not the slowest swap time, so cycling through your streaks is sluggish, even if it was technically buffed. And lastly, if the devs ever get around to doing a COD theme season, say Black Ops 4, but don't want to add another PK, then how about the VKM 750 as a blueprint? You could go a step further and add its operator mod as a barrel or ammo conversion. But then again, I don't think Fat Barrel would be that useful. But hey, that's just my opinion. This has been a Casual's quick guide. Feel free to suggest what weapons you want to see covered next. My name is On, and I'm off.